Hiya, welcome to my cards for the week. Today is Sunday, the 17th of October, 2021. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Deborah Jane Sutton, and you can find out more about me from my website, deborahjanesutton.com. There is a link in below, or from this YouTube channel, where you will see I have a whole series in Lessons in Awakening, especially for this time of Great Awakening. I also have a whole series in self-healing techniques, which you really can take on board here and now, and also cover some of my services. And there's lots of other things as well, so please have a browse if you're not already familiar. And for those of you that haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, share, and all those YouTubey things. Now, October is a bumpy month. We've been told that by the astrologers, and I think most of us are feeling it. So, but it's okay. It's okay because we learn from the bumps. I want to say we learn from the bumps. If it wasn't bumpy, we wouldn't be able to have the opportunity to put into practice the spiritual lessons and concepts that we've been learning in the last couple of years, or however long we've been learning them. So I do want to mention that these are the cards for the week, but we are still in October, and I started at the beginning of October, my cards for the month. So if you haven't already checked out my cards for the month of October, then please do that. They were very much focused on growing through grief. And because of the bumpiness of October, I think it's really relevant. So if you haven't already seen that, have a look. I'll put it in the end screen, and I'll put a link in below as well. So, cards, can you tell us what is going on? Yes, yes. Okay, anything else you can tell us about what's going on for this week? Give us the heads up. Any intuitive guidance? Oh, thank you. I love the way they fall out when I say certain words. Anything else? Anything else that we can learn from? Anything else that we need to know this week? Sometimes they're really chatty and other times not so much so. I'm kind of picking up, it's like they're saying there's lots of things to learn from. Which one would you like? And I'm like, okay, we don't want too many. Can we keep it brief? Okay. Any more? That one came out when I said keep it brief, so there we go. I think that's it. So we have 4 cards this week. Okay, so, okay. Okay, I'm going to dive straight into this. Yeah, and I think it is relevant what I've already said about watching October's cards for the month, because what I speak on there is about the using our grief and using our adversity to catapult us. It came to me now that, we have got to view our adversity as a divine springboard into higher levels of consciousness. I'm going to say that again because that came to me just before I started recording. We have got to view our adversity as the divine springboard into higher levels of consciousness. If you think about it, the people that have near-death experiences, they have the most rapid awakenings. I really think the level of adversity is proportional to the level of awakening. In other words, the level of shift in your level of consciousness. I really think that it's kind of proportional. So in a way, when you look at things from a higher level of consciousness, in a way, we actually want the chaos. We need the chaos. We want the adversity and we need the adversity. And I also said recently about it's not about avoiding difficult experiences. It's about experiencing them with ease. Experiencing things from the point of the observer. From the point of the observer. Only the observer creates. That came to me as well earlier on when I was just in my quiet space before I do my cards for the week. Sometimes things come through, and it came through that in the quantum reality, only the observer creates. If it hasn't been observed, has it been created? So it's really important to step into a place of observing, of becoming the observer of your own being, your human, the experiences that your human is having, the relationships that your human is having, the thoughts and emotions that your human is having, observing the reality around your human. And it's really important to be the one that's observing your human. A lot of people have been saying recently, you know, rightly so, it's a progress, but they say, oh, I was talking to my higher self, which is fine because it shows an acknowledgement of a higher self, and it shows that you're talking to greater guidance, because your greater guidance is from your higher self. But the point I really, 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 really want to make is that you are your higher self. And so I'm going to invite you, if you're one of those people that's been, I'm talking to my higher self, or my intuition told me this, or, you know, if you're looking at your reality from that perspective, from your human's perspective, you're kind of reaching up to something greater than that you are. You know, if you're in that mindset, I want to invite you to just take that shift into your higher self. And I want you then to look and observe your human, so that you can then say, I was talking to my human. Okay, you are your higher self. You are the one that has mastered your emotions. You are the one who has mastered your thoughts. You are the one that can see things from a higher perspective. You are the one that understands that you are everything. You are unity. You are Christ consciousness. You are one with all of creation. You are the one that realizes that your soul came into, you are a soul, and we are all connected as souls. And that consciousness, I want to say, I love the word consciousness, that consciousness enters your human physical body with your first breath. And that consciousness leaves your human physical body with your last breath. You are your breath. You are your consciousness. Now your human, your physical human body is the gift that we have in this lifetime. It's our mouthpiece, it's our spokesperson, it's our physical representation of our consciousness. It is through our physical body, it is through the vehicle of our physical body that we express our divinity, that we express who we really are at soul level. Okay? Sorry, I just paused that a little bit there. So we are our higher self. It's really important to understand that. And then we can have a conversation with our human. That shift is going to be massive for you. And that's your homework for this week, because it's cards for the week with homework. So the homework is to understand that you are the higher self and you can talk to your human, okay? So maybe your human doesn't like every part of your human body, okay? But your higher self loves it all. You see how it's such a major shift? Your human could be struggling with some confusion, with some negative thinking, some limiting beliefs. Your human could be experiencing some really low frequency emotions. There could be some grief. We know that from the cards for the month. Could be some grief, there could be some fear, okay? There could be some lack of patience, frustration, anger. I mean, your human could be experiencing all sorts of things. But when you observe your human from that higher level of consciousness, you can have love and compassion for your human. You can have love and compassion and understanding. Your human is allowed to have these emotions. We came here to have a human experience. We came here to have a human experience, warts and all. Okay, we came here to experience all of it. Okay, so it's okay if your human is grieving, is sad, is upset, is resentful, any of these emotions, it's okay. But view it from a higher level of consciousness. That will help you separate. Okay, it will help you detach from the intensity of those emotions. It will help you detach from the intensity of whatever is going on in your reality. And it will help you view things from a higher level. Now, if your issues or anything that's your adversity or anything that's causing the bumpiness in October, if it's involving someone else, a relationship with someone else, it could be a family member, a partner, it could be a friend, colleagues, lots of issues going on with colleagues at the moment and with employers. So if your issues are to do with another relationship and you're being triggered, or someone else is creating a reality, they're sucking you into their reality, or however you want to view it. I've spoken about this before, and more homework. The path to forgiveness in my Lessons in Awakening, the path to forgiveness will help you with this. But if you understand that everything on a soul level, we have chosen a lot of our experiences. We create our reality, but we have also chosen a lot of our experiences. And we have also agreed with other souls. Okay, I've talked quite a lot about this. We've agreed with other souls to incarnate and help each other on our path to evolution. Now, we could do that through love and gratitude and support, practical support, financial support, loving support, what have you. But we've already worked out, we already know that our adversity is our springboard. Our adversity is our springboard into enlightenment. And so we've also got souls that have agreed to provide that adversity for us. And on a soul level, we agreed to it. That's the bit you've got to get your head around. On a soul level, we agreed to it. And we agreed to it because we want the enlightenment. We agreed to it because we want the ascension. We agreed to it because we want the help. We want the help in being catapulted into greater levels of consciousness. Okay, so we actually asked for it. Now, if you can view it from that level, it helps you navigate it. First of all, it stops you name calling and pointing fingers. You know, when we point fingers, you know, there's always three fingers pointing back at us because we are the creators. And on a soul level, I keep coming back to on a soul level, because on a soul level, we've agreed to it all. And when you understand that, you do away with all the blaming and the guilt and the fault and words like that, which just keep us in lack and limitation and, you know, keep us away from our own understanding, our own self-realization. It's about realizing who you are. Life is not always cushy. It's not meant to be. But when you operate from a higher level of consciousness, you're able to navigate those difficult experiences with ease. When you've learned to master your emotions and master your thoughts by looking at things, by choosing thoughts, like I'm suggesting, you know, from a soul level, you know, the adversity is for my benefit. There's a belief that's going to expand you. If you have adversity and you think it's the worst thing in the world and you're blaming everybody else and you're a victim and all of this, you're contracting, you're not growing, you're going to keep yourself in that density. Whereas if you can see your adversity as a springboard, you can literally expand and go, hey, I've got some more adversity. How am I going to deal with this? Okay. And the number one thing to do, I think, is get off social media, get off internet, get off social media, go back into nature, hug a tree, do some yoga, listen to some high frequency music. I don't mean high frequency bopping. I mean, you know, frequency as in, I mean, yoga music, I want to say, but whatever. Loving music, self-loving music, but an exercise, whatever it is that floats your boat. Let's go back to reading books because it's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. Sit in the silence. Sit in the silence of nature, because, you know, when you listen, like yoga nidra, you know, there's birds singing and there's some beautiful sounds. you know. Bring it back to that all the time, because the observer is the one that creates. So if you go on the internet and start observing things that you don't want to create, remember, you're observing them. The observer is the creator. Okay? Because if you're putting your attention on it, especially if you're accompanying it by emotion, so if you're observing something that you don't want to see, I know some people will say, oh, that's putting your head in the sand. We've got to help all these people that are in trouble. No, there is only you. There is only you. Everything outside of you is a reflection of a part of you. Plus the fact that if you don't raise your frequency higher and higher and higher, you're not going to be any help to anyone else. You're going to be able to help other people directly by having a higher level of frequency, and also by understanding that we are all connected on a frequency level. So the higher your frequency, the higher the collective frequency. So whatever frequency you're putting out there is the frequency you're contributing to the collective. So if you want to raise it, you've got to put the highest frequency out there. And you're not going to get that by observing a load of unpleasant stuff on the internet, are you? Or by going into the thick of the 3D, you know, where all the arguments are and all the density is and all the conflict. I haven't even picked up the cards yet, but I am referring to them in what I'm saying, because there's the mental conflict. Okay, so there's a lot of mental conflict, and we keep thinking that we have to be doing something, or we have to be standing up for something, or we have to be fighting for other people. No, there is only you. Fighting's not a good energy. You know, this one is very much about worry and anxiety, but how do we release worry and anxiety? Get off the internet and go and chill. This is the card I always refer to as retreating. Retreat. This is what I've just said about stepping back and just living your own life. Just go back into your own nuclear family, I want to say, and just deal with what you have to deal with. Okay, get off the internet, get off social media at the moment. I know you're on it at the moment to watch this, but pick and choose, really live it yourself. Pick and choose what you listen to and who you listen to, because the observer creates. I'm going to come back to that all the time. This one is my card for, it's a Four of Pentacles. It's about investing in your own energy. Because investing in your own energy is the most important thing you can invest in, because your future lies in your frequency. We know that. So this was my card about, because Pentacles is about energy. It can be about money, but it's also about energy. So this is about you spending your time, resources, energy, and money on you and on raising your frequency. I'm getting quite adamant now. I'm pointing fingers at you and I'm being quite teacher-like. That it's so important that you just focus on you, get your head out of other people's issues. Or I know we're working as a collective, and I know online there's a lot of support for each other, and I'm not saying we don't need that, we need that still, and it's great. But for now, for bumpy October, to navigate October, to help you deal with the bumpiness from a higher level of consciousness, you need to have your energy being in its highest level of frequency. And that means having a massage if you need to, having time out, get a babysitter in, get a dog sitter in, whatever you need, just to be on your own or with your loved ones. Walking in nature, I know we keep saying it, but I cannot tell you how powerfully important it is at the moment to walk in nature, spend time with your nearest and dearest, whether they be furry friends or human, and just doing nothing. Let's go back to reading books. I've said that before, but because there's peace and tranquility to reading books, and there's no interference of Wi-Fi energies or anything else, or screens or anything like that, you know, playing cards. Let's just go back to that, playing board games, you know. We need to backtrack. We need to backtrack and find things that really, really relax us, because a lot of people, you know, this drinking wine, watching Netflix kind of entertainment or form of relaxation. I mean, is it a form of relaxation? I don't know, I've never been on Netflix, but, you know, there are some good stuff apparently, and I'm not completely dissing it, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of films that I'm not sure whether they've been made with the right intentions behind them. Even if they look nice on the outside, there's a lot of, you're still opening yourself up to other energies coming in, because everything is energy and all creations carry the energy of the people that have created them. So, I would just say get out of that. And also drinking wine. I mean, I'm not, again, I don't want to sound like a boring teetotaler, but, alcohol sometimes makes us feel better because it calms us down initially. But most alcohol, some people might argue, and I have known some people test positive on the sway test to red wine, but only a glass. So I don't want to get any comments on being anti-alcohol, but, most alcohols are toxic. You are putting toxicity into your body. I might do a separate video about alcohol, and then you can fill your boots with any comments about it. But what I'm trying to say is we need to backtrack, because sometimes watching films and drinking alcohol, you might think that you're relaxing, but you're actually distracting yourself and also opening yourself up to toxic energies, whether they're coming at you from the screen or through whatever you're drinking and eating and snacking and all this stuff. It's a case of, let's come back to you. This meditation, yoga, qigong, Tai Chi, all of these things, walking in nature, whereby you're using your physical body, or if you're just sitting there playing cards with somebody, so you've just got your loved ones around you, people that you've chosen, people that you resonate with, people that you trust, so you're in their energy. You know what they say, we are the sum of the 5 people we spend most time with. Get those 5 people and play something, relax without the internet. I really wasn't planning on saying this. I think this is a message for me probably as well. And the last card is the 3 of Swords, which is usually heartache and grief. And I'm just going to refer you again to the cards for this month, because I talked a lot about growing through grief. Remember that the grief comes from the adversity, and the adversity is your springboard. And I often quote Bernie Siegel, who said, when you experience an emotional trauma, you're going to grow. Whether you grow a tumor or whether you grow spiritually, the choice is yours. Choose to use it as a springboard. Choose to use it as a springboard, okay? And you can do that by looking at everything from a higher picture. So you've got the adversity, and then you're just going to go inside and say, okay, I've created this. Why have I created this? It could be karma, okay? So that's fine, because once you've acknowledged, okay, and you have observed it from a higher level of consciousness, you can then give gratitude for it. You can then have love for everybody else in the situation, as opposed to resentment, bitterness, hatred, or anything else. You can have love. Thank you for the adversity. Thank you for the springboard. I understand I created it all. I understand that I agreed to all of this on a higher level, at a soul level. I get it. I understand my way out of this is self-love. I understand my way out of this is understanding who I really am, and I'm not my human. I am my higher self. I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise I'm going to be going on too long. But there's lots of food for thought there. There are videos. I have a video in my Lessons in Awakening on the importance of loving yourself. That could also be relevant this month. There could be loads of things relevant that are coming up. So I really invite you to have a browse around my YouTube channel. Because there's stuff here, see where you resonate, see what resonates with you, because trust your higher self is going to be guided to whatever you need at this time for your own self-realization. We're in it together. Turn the bumpiness into the most glorious roller coaster ride, the most amazing wow. Roller coaster rides can be fearful, or they can be exhilarating. You choose. You choose. I love you all. Take care. Until next time. Bye.